Good morning, my stamping friends. This is Sandra with Krafty Kreations with Sandra. I'm going to teach you how to make a double bow. I now know how to make it better without having to tie a knot. Well, you do tie a knot, but not an extra knot. Okay, so I'm going to start with my ribbon, and I'm using a really light, very flexible ribbon so that you could see how the loops work, and then I'll try and use several others to show you, okay? So we're going to start by holding the ribbon with my thumb on my middle finger. Then I'm going to spread my fingers as big as I want my bow. So if I want a small bow, I'm going to keep them together. If I want a bigger bow or a really big bow. So I'm going to keep it kind of small. I'm going to wrap it around my index finger, and then I'm going to figure eight twice. 1, and that's 2. All right, so I have 2 loops. This is 1, these are 2, these are 2. Then I'm just going to snip, and I'll tell you the length of the ribbon will depend on how much you spread your fingers. You're just gonna have to try it. Okay, so when I go around the second time, I'm going to put this tip into this hole right here under all of the loops. Okay, I don't want to lose my last loop. I'm still here. I'm going to put this through the hole right by my fingers, and I'm going to bring this around, and I didn't cut enough ribbon. Hold on, let's do it again. It is a little bit of a process of trial and error till you get the feel for it. Okay, so there's my thumb holding it on my middle finger, and I'm gonna figure eight twice. There's 1, and there's 2, okay? Now I'm gonna leave a bigger tail this time. Okay, so now that I have 2, I'm going to take this tip and I'm gonna squeeze it through right where my fingers V, right here. Then I'm gonna take this tip and I'm gonna loop it backwards this way. I'm gonna put it in, and I'm gonna push it in from front to back like this. You see what I did? I'm taking it and I'm pushing it in and out. So I'm going up. Then I'm gonna tighten this one, and that's it. My bow is made. I don't have to make any knots like I did on the first video when I showed you. So there is my double bow. My tails are a little lopsided, but you know, it would work just fine if I just trim this one. And there's a beautiful double knot, nice and fluffy. All right, let's try a different ribbon. So normally our ribbons are not this wide. I just wanted to show you so that you could see where I make the loop, where I tuck it in. All right, so let's try this pink, this polished pink. And then once I get this going, I'm going to measure how much I use, and I kind of think it's 18 inches. I kind of think it's 18 inches. I'm going to cut 18 inches because I'm pretty sure that's what I measured before. I'm going to hold it, and the longer this is, the longer your tail will be. So don't make it too long, but don't make it extremely short. So there's 1 figure 8, there's 1 loop, 2 loops. My second figure 8, 1 loop, 2 loops, 2 loops. This is where I bring this one, and then I stick it in here, and 18 inches was way too much. Okay. Now I'm gonna stick this loop, this tip into this loop going this way, going up. I'm just gonna push it in there, take it out, and then I'm gonna pull it. And when I tighten it, I can pull my tails down, or I can pull my tails up, or whichever way I want, as long as they're on my fingers. Then you gently take it off of your fingers, If you pull on these loops, they will get bigger on one side and smaller on the other. Because remember, they're just wrapped. So there is my double bow. I just trim it. If I don't want it so loopy, I can just play with it, make it. Look, if I pull on this one, it shortens another one. So there's my double bow. There's 2 double bows. And look, I only needed about 16 inches. Actually less, but you don't want to cut it too close. So if I cut 2 off, this would be my leftover. So it's about 16 inches with this size. Now let's try this tiny one. We're gonna do the same. We're gonna hold it with our thumb on our middle finger. We're gonna go around a figure 8 one time. That completes one time, you see that? And then I'm gonna go again, and that completes 2 times. And I can use my ring finger to kind of hold this. I'm gonna put this through the hole. Now, I don't mean here, I mean at the very bottom, underneath the one I'm holding. I'm gonna bring this around, I'm gonna loop it through and this way, up. I'm not gonna do this, which is what I did in the first video. It wasn't right, that's why I needed to make a knot. But if you loop it in from bottom to the top, you won't need to make a knot. It makes the knot. Then you just gently take it off of your fingers, and there is your double bow. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now let's try it with the crinkle seam binding. I'm just doing it over and over so you can see. This time I'm gonna make 3 loops. See what happens. I'm gonna hold it with my thumb on my middle finger. I'm going to do 1 figure 8, 2 figure 8s, 3 figure 8s. You see, I have 3 loops on this side, 3 loops on this side. I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna tuck this end into this hole right here. When I tuck that in, I don't want to pull it tight because I need to go into this section here. So I'm gonna turn it over or wrap it around, and I'm gonna push it in from the bottom to the top. And I'm just gonna pull. The knot can slide over sideways like that. And then I'm gonna just either pull down or pull up, or whichever way I wanna pull. If I just pull it, it tightens it, okay? And there is a 3 loop bow. There's a fancy little 3 loop bow. Now you could do this on top. No, you couldn't do that on top of that. You could do this one on top of this one. If you wanted to do 2. Oh, I don't know. But that's how you make them, okay? One more time. I'm gonna do a double bow just with this white one. Hold it with your thumb on your middle finger, and I'm leaving about 1.5 inches. I'm going to figure 8, that's 1. It ends right there because look, here's one loop, here's another loop. And I start my second one, figure 8, and this is where it ends right here because I now have 2 loops on each side. I'm gonna snip, go through the hole between my fingers underneath the one I'm holding. And then, of course, and then I'm gonna go through this loop from bottom to top, from the bottom towards the top. And I'm gonna pull. When I pull, it tightens it. And there is my double bow. I can slide the knot a little bit if it wasn't right in the middle, right in the center. And there is my double bow. I hope you liked it. I hope I explained it clearly. And if you have any questions, let me know. All right, bye-bye. Thank you. Have a great day.